It is a great honor and a privilege to introduce Annika Tetzner. We're here in your beautiful home in Jerusalem, and Annika is a very accomplished and a very special artist, born in Prague, in Czechoslovakia, and Annika, you are the only member of your family that survived.
Yeah. And Annika wasn't my name. That was a name I was put on me in Norway. And I was born in Prague, and I was 2 years old when the war really started.
Can I take the mask?
Then the war started, and I have some memories from the very beginning, and I was told that some years ago that I should make sure I get back my parents' home. My parents were wealthy people.
Very.
And I have some nice photos also. But so I remember when the Nazis came to our house to take my parents and me. And outside, they lived in one of the best parts in Prague, expensive, they had a housekeeper. I even remember my room, and it was painted blue, and on the wall they had painted ducklings. And I remember one of the ducklings were going the wrong direction. But anyway, so when my mother was carrying me out, and in a way I'm thinking about it, they sort of, the Nazis, they behaved nicely. There were no direct, and then the neighbors come and stare, and I cannot say I remember so very much of it, but I had a doll, and outside there was a neighbor there with their daughter, little older than me. So my mother gave the girl my doll, and I didn't like it. And when we were taken to the center downtown Prague, where they gathered people, and then we were sent first to Terezin. And I have quite a good, clear memories of how it was in Terezin. And it actually looked very nice. Green grass and so on. And when we were put on the train to Auschwitz. Took a very long time. You know, I was about 5 years old, and my brother was with us, who wasn't right in his head, and I cannot say how long it took, but my guess, I have told to people who have some knowledge about it, that it took at least a week. And but my mother, I behaved very nicely. And when my mother had a piece of glass, someone had banged out the window in the wagon. It wasn't the ordinary train with nice seats and so on. It was for animals, whatever. And when my mother cut my wrist, and I was furious because I thought she had no reason to do me anything, because I had behaved very, very nicely, not screaming or anything. And then, not so long time after this, the train stopped. And you know where we stopped at. And we were to go out of the wagon down to the platform. And one of the I'm not so sure he was a soldier, but yeah, I think he was a soldier. He noticed I was bleeding, and he asked me who had done it. And I was very, very angry at my mother. So I pointed at my mother's, which was a quite natural thing to do. And they didn't do us so much, but we were to wait, you know, by the platform. There were not exactly a forest, but a lot of trees where we were to wait, and I'm sure you have it in your mind where we were. So, and my brother, I actually had a big brother as well, but the little one, it was something wrong with his head, and he couldn't talk very well, but he whistled. He could whistle any melody, and when he danced. And of course, the Nazis, I prefer to use that name of them, they had fun with him, that he danced and when they were angry because my brother, he don't wanted, he was tired, he don't wanted to continue because they made fun of him, all that, and then they ended with shooting him. So that was the end of my lovely, no, it wasn't the end, because I'm mixing up. Anyway, they did something to him. I cannot, either I don't want to remember it, or so. I do mix the ghetto in my mind just now. I know what I'm doing. I am mixing Terezin, what happened there, and I with Auschwitz. So they did kill him in Auschwitz, but they did had fun of him in the ghetto a lot.
Oh.
Yeah. And so they also killed my mother.
On the platform,
Yeah.
Was this in Auschwitz where they killed your mother?
Yeah.
when they got off the train.
No, because I told the Nazis it was my mother who had hurt me.
Yeah.
So they apparently preferred to do the killing themselves. So he was, you saw the painting I had?
And did you witness them shooting your mother?
Yeah,
And you were only 5 years old?
about. Yeah, but I felt for my whole life that it was me who caused the Nazis to kill her. I should have kept my mouth closed, which I didn't. So, but I was free for a very, very long time, even as an adult, even as a mother, and almost as a grandmother, that I was the one who was guilty of the Nazi who shot my mother for, I was bleeding from.
But you were innocent, you were...
But why are they not telling me that? Why are they not telling me that? They are not.
You know, it was the person who did the shooting, and you were just a little girl of 5 years old.
Yeah, but I pointed at my mother and told the soldier, my mother did it, meine Mutti has it getan.
You were upset because...
I was, but they treat me like I was an adult.
And do you ever think, why did your mother do it? Why did she...
Oh, very, very much so. There are many mothers who killed their children on the train because they knew what we were going to.
Your mother wanted to spare you the pain and the...
I have no problem with that. And I remember we stood on the fence when a new train come in, and we stood there laughing, we children, because we hear, oh, you shall have a nice bath, and then you will have coffee. And we knew we were going directly to the gas chamber. We knew that. I have written about it even.
You knew it?
Yeah, we knew it. And we laughed. Stupid mothers who didn't knew better.
Annika, thank you very, very much.
You're welcome. I knew that there were very little chance they will let my mother live. And my little brother with Down syndrome, who danced and sang, he couldn't talk. And the soldiers had a lot of fun. And when he became tired, Yeri became tired and wanted to cry, and when they shot him.
And you witnessed it?
Oh yeah.
Wow. You see, it's a very hard thing for a young girl of 5 to witness and to...
Yeah. But I was quite lucky that my big brother, who I understand was of a first marriage, I was born the second marriage. And
this is a picture of your parents. These are your parents.
yeah. She can hold for you.
You me too. Oh, my phone. I'm so sorry.
And,
Just take this. Sorry about that.
Annika, can I ask you, how long were you in Terezin?
Oh, hello.
Do you know roughly?
I have no idea of time. Even I try. I was too little to have grasp of time. But in Auschwitz, my big brother was aware that he had to look after me. So we were one of the barracks, and I'm not 100% sure of the number of the barrack, but in any case, so he decided that we should have the upper bunk. No, it was 3. No, it wasn't a bed, it was bunks. And I remember he told me he wanted me to climb up. It was difficult for me to climb up, but we needed so they will not pee in our heads. And so he was there, and for a while, in the end, he worked in what is the name now? To put the dead in the ovens. That was his job. And then, you see, I don't have really things, memories. They are not always linked to each other. You know.
You were very small. You were like so
was.
small.
And
Annika, what happened with your father at this time?
he was sent to Dachau before us. He was sent to Dachau, and I know he was killed, shot in February 45.
It's just nearly the end of the war.
At the end of the war. And he did said goodbye to me, that I remember, that I should be a good girl, and he promised to come back, which wasn't not true, but you don't tell the truth to a little girl. And so then at the end of the war, there was a Nazi woman, very blonde, very nice, but of course I stayed away from her the best. I have many small memories, like I found some yellow flowers, and I asked one of the boys what it was. What is the name? And he told me it's Tessilago farfara.
You still remember?
Oh yeah, and I ate it because I didn't knew what to do with flowers, so I ate. I was hungry.
And can I ask, Annika, could you stay with your brother in the lager, or did they put you into the women's one?
No, because it was overcrowded, and they really didn't pay much attention. So we, the younger children, we very much was roaming around doing what we wanted somehow. And so things like, I remember Tussilago Farfar and things like that. But this Nazi woman, I was very afraid of her, very. And one day, she grabbed me and put me in a, she put me to have a bath, very cold, but I dare not to scream or anything. And then she dragged me to a train, and it took some time, and I had no idea what she wanted with me. Oh yeah, she bleached my hair. She bleached my hair. And of course I know as an adult, I know what she was up to. She wanted to run away because she knew the Russians were on the way. And I remember that. I didn't have the chance to see the Russians when they arrived in the lager, but we could hear them.
What was the purpose of bleaching your hair? You were blonde.
No, I wasn't blonde.
You weren't blonde?
No, I was dark-haired.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So she wanted to flee from having to explain what she has been doing. So I apparently should be
a decoy.
Yeah, something like that. But I do remember we heard the Russians, and the boom, 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 they were coming. And we also noticed that the adults, grown-ups, they were very glad for something. They heard the boom, boom, boom from the Russians. So that was apparently why this Nazi woman wanted to flee and needed. Yeah,
So she pretended to be your mother.
Yeah, and she told me.
So she could pretend she was a Jew from the gaps.
Yeah. She told me that don't forget.
Wow.
And
this was still in Auschwitz?
Yeah, it was still there. And the train was actually, I know, was probably the last official train before the Russians come.
And you were about how old then? Do you have any idea?
No. I wasn't occupied with that kind of thoughts because I didn't like the woman.
Yeah.
And when we arrived, you know what is this camp on the border to Austria.
This Mauthausen?
Mauthausen, yeah. And they believed her. They believed that she had managed to get away from, or they were proud of her or something. And we were a while in Mauthausen, and when I understood somehow the war was over. And I was very anxious what it would be of me. And we went to the different lagers for the refugees. And 3 different.
Were these the DP camps?
Yeah.
Was it just you and her, or was it also?
No, it was a lot.
No, I mean, was it that man she was with and the sons? Or was that later?
No.
Oh, okay.
She had. It
was just you and her?
Yeah. And she had all the reasons to run. And when we, after changing the DP camps, and she was very, very, don't say anything, you know. And then one day we sat on the train, the war was over, that she told me. So I don't say anything, they will kill you if you say anything. And we were on different trains and ended up in England. And in England, apparently, which is my own knowledge as a grown-up, that the legal system in England was in order. They were aware of there would be Nazis trying to run and all that, have all the reason in the world to fear to be arrested and so on. And and she had a sort of a boyfriend who was also apparently a guard from Dachau. So they were not in love or anything, they only wanted to flee together to America. They wanted to America.
And also to escape persecution.
Of course. And then I destroyed the plans she had because I don't wanted to lie for her. So the British police, they didn't get that she was a war criminal, and she told she was married in Norway, which she was. And I remember we were put on a boat to Norway. And of course I was old enough to understand what was going on.
How old were you at this time?
I cannot say.
And do you remember how long you stayed in England?
I cannot say exactly because there were so many things which I shouldn't remember according to this woman, and there are other things I should say.
And you were moving from place to place?
No, we were not.
No, in Europe and into England?
No. We were very direct going to England.
Oh, okay.
It was very clear that this woman had her plans ready. And then the British police, they were very aware of not everyone who say there were refugees, but they were fleeing for something. And they were not asking me questions together with her and her boyfriend. I have found out later in life that he was a guard from Dachau. So they wanted to marry and start a new and wonderful life in America. So then the British were talking to me, and I made it very clear that she was lying.
You told him?
I told them. It's not true.
They interviewed the woman separately, the man separately, and then you separately?
Of course. They were not stupid.
And could you understand a bit of English?
Yeah.
You learned it?
I have, when I was a child, I spoke at least three languages. So it wasn't problematic. And then she had to tell them that she was married in Norway. And I remember when we were on board in a ship going to Bergen on the west coast in Norway. And of course the woman was furious at me, who destroyed her plans. And anyway, we came to Bergen, and she put me in an orphanage. in Bergen. It actually belonged to the Salvation Army. And when I didn't know, it took a very long time for me to figure out what she was really up to, because it was a couple there who were ready to take me in foster, and they did. And in the beginning I was quite happy. And when I realized that it wasn't a happy home I was going to, and Christian, my so-called foster father, he raped me from the first day I came there. And but I lived with them for 8-9 years, and it was hell, absolutely hell, because I never did anything which satisfied Agnes, the foster mother. And finally I finished school. I was not allowed to have all the years, because the gymnasium she couldn't, because my foster father actually died. He was running into some trouble, and anyway, so I took what they call the real school and did very well. And then
Tell him about the library. You'll like that story.
yeah. So anyway, so when I was going on 19, I took a trip to Israel. 65. And of course I would like to settle here. I was on a kibbutz for about a year up in the north. And the problem was, in the meantime I had met my husband-to-be. I fell in love with him, and so in September I have been here about a year, when I went to Norway to marry my husband.
Did you meet him before you came to Israel?
Yeah. And I married him, and I get children.
They lived on a farm.
Yeah, yeah. We had a farm far away from civilization, but it was really in many ways a very nice place. And when he died, cancer on the brain. So, and when my children, my lovely children, grew up and to be something, they were not nice.
Was your husband Jewish?
We think he was, but he died before I had any chance to prove.
But didn't his mother tell you?
What are you talking about?
His mother, didn't she tell you one day that she's Jewish?
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
When she first saw me, but she was very, very anxious for her grown-up children that I would tell them I was Jewish, because one of her children became a member of a Nazi gang. And of course I knew it, yeah.
Huh?
This is in Norway.
Yeah, I know. On another island. So they were very afraid that I would say anything and so on. And when my husband died, he was buried 1st of January. And when I decided to complete my education, which I wanted. And I also wanted to separate from my so-called kids. The only one who really, really was good to me is Daniel. He was the second oldest, but the others, I think they get caught up in the Christian thing. But in any way. And when I decided there are no other way than pack your backpack and your papers and what you have and go to Israel, and I did.
Did you always want to come to Israel?
Always.
What was this maybe?
Not just Israel, Jerusalem.
Jerusalem.
How come? Was this maybe your parents instilled this love?
I don't know. It's enough for me to know that I did the right thing. Going to Jerusalem, as she said. And I had no idea what to do to become Israeli. I had no clue whatsoever. And but little by little I gathered information, and when I was told I had to prove I was Jewish, and if I could, then I would have no problems with. So I had money, so I went to Prague, and I went to where the administration for the Jews were, and it was not a problem at all. Because
They had the records.
yeah, I was telling the truth. They knew I was telling the truth. And have you been in Prague?
I've been.
Have you been in the Pink House? Okay. And I had friends which was also from abroad. We were good friends, and one day we decided we should go to the Pink House synagogue. And in the Pink House synagogue, they had all the names of the Jews who was killed by the Nazis. Everyone.
It's on the wall. They have them engraved. It's very
wall.
special. It's all engraved on the wall. Yeah.
And upstairs they have pictures from the children, from Terezin.
Did they have your picture?
No, that came later on.
Oh.
And where one of the leading Jews from Oslo was there. And he had been quite nasty to me. But he have a big office here, and he is involved in politics, whatever. And that day, we went to the Pinkas synagogue. He was there together with 2-3 Norwegians, and he recognized me, of course. And it wasn't exactly a smile he gave me. But so my friends and I, we started to look for names. And there was my name.
It's on the wall.
Yeah.
So they didn't know that you had survived.
Because who should tell them?
Who would tell them?
Who
Yeah.
would tell them?
Yeah.
And what was your name that your parents gave you?
What I am telling, the name I use to this day. So it wasn't a big trouble to find my name. And we were a little group standing where my name was also. And I made a fuss saying, why have I put my name on the wall? Don't you see how alive I am? And the Norwegian, or the rabbi who is also here, he had to face, because I was there on the wall. I didn't lie about me. He accused me of lying. So what they did, they scrubbed away my name.
Your face.
Yeah. And I get documents from the center of.
But your parents were well known in Prague.
Oh yeah.
They were very wealthy. They were well known. They had
And
businesses.
Annika, what was your family name, your parents' family name?
Tetzner.
Tetzner.
So
You can see, if you look at the picture, it's a beautiful, it's a
what
very,
you can say it straight.
They look very noble.
very elegant, very,
They were upper class people.
yeah,
Yeah, they look it.
Yeah.
they look at, you can see from a very noble family. It's beautiful.
If you take that little book, yeah. Oh, here's my husband before he died.
Who's the baby?
The daughter of my oldest son.
Oh, your grandchild.
Grandchild.
And this is your husband.
And here is photos from the gathering in Prague
Okay.
about.
Here you go.
What is in the photograph over here? What is in the photo?
There's a woman sitting there.
I know who they are.
Yeah, is the little girl you?
No.
Okay. So there's a little girl. This is the same photo.
Okay.
Okay.
This is my aunt. This is my aunt. This is my mother.
Aunt, which one is
And
the
this
mother?
is my uncle.
I think they're different pictures.
Okay, let's just.
And then
She said the mother is here. The aunt and the mother. And so that must be her.
yeah,
And
yeah.
Annika, are you in the picture?
Yeah, that must be her.
This is you.
No, I'm not.
Your mother's holding a little child.
Yeah, but it's not me.
Oh, okay. Okay, sorry.
And this was in Prague. Was this in the ghetto in Prague?
Yeah, not in the ghetto, in the where they collected.
Oh, where they
it.
collected you before they took to Terezin.
Yeah. And here
Excuse me.
is the family home,
You can lift
Yeah, I'll bring it to
this
you.
is amazing.
and here is
The
where
factory.
we stayed in the ghetto.
Let me just show him the family home. He wants to just... No, just leave it in the book.
So here's the street where we live. This is
Do you want me to take it off?
my grandparents.
Wow.
It's got Hebrew on the top.
Yeah. And this is a family who moved to America. I haven't met them. So here is,
That's a picture.
and you know where this is.
If we can have a closer look.
Shana Tova. Look at this.
Shana Tova.
This is Shana Tova. It's this
It's a
time
Shana
period.
Tova.
Oh my God, this is the Chag.
And this is my big brother.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Wow, if we can just...
Who is
look.
this guy?
It's my father.
Oh my goodness, he looks really
you
beautiful.
hold,
Can I?
No, you cannot.
Oh, you don't want him to film it.
No.
Oh, okay.
And here is
Jan,
Jan when he came to Israel and
Yeah.
he became
and this is
no, and he went to the army.
he's the only member of a family that she's got a grave for.
Yeah.
She can go to his grave.
This is amazing. So this is your grandparents,
Yeah.
and it's
Wow.
Shana Tova.
Shana Tova. Can you believe that? That I've never seen this picture before.
I think
And
they
to
did
see
it.
it at this
It's
time,
beautiful there.
to see it now when we're facing Shana
And
Tova.
Annika, your grandparents lived in Prague.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Annika, it is amazing. It really is. You know, I'll tell you, there's something very special that's written that you cannot remember exactly what it meant to be born a Jew. But most of what happened to you was because you were a Jew.
Oh, I knew very well what it meant.
Yeah.
That was plain to me every day.
Every day.
And you know what they want with you, they want to kill you.
And Annika, do you remember in Auschwitz,
Yeah.
were you always hungry? Or
He is stupid.
no, I know.
He is stupid. He is plain.
Everybody was always.
No, everybody's asking, but
Of course
but
I
it was
hungry.
always. I know. But it's,
And we also were good in stealing food.
that's why you mentioned when you had the flowers. You ate the flower. You were so hungry.
No. It was because I didn't know what to do with the flour. And it looked so nice and
Yeah.
tasted so good.
It's really.
So you don't talk about Mengele.
I could.
That was in Auschwitz. But anyway, so you eventually,
Can I just ask,
to Israel.
Annika, did you meet with Mengele?
Of course I did.
Yes. She was one of his victims. She survived Mengele.
When he came to we waited in, it was like a forest next to the platform where we were a huge group of people, children and all that. And he came there with his white gloves and don't tell me about Mengele.
Looking for children to select.
No, I don't think it. He demonstrated, I think, who had the power. And people were afraid of him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also soldiers and so on.
Yeah, sure. Everybody would have been
Yeah.
afraid of him.
Yeah.
He had the power of life and death.
So he did, unfortunately, a lot of experiments on twins.
Yeah.
And there's twins in that I met last week. There's a twin that was.
He did on me too. I really hoped that it wouldn't come up, but he did.
Yeah.
And that he was never prosecuted or never.
No.
That must hurt terribly.
He went to
Argentina. They say
Yeah.
Argentina.
and he was so happy, and there were so many Nazis over there, so he was like the plum in the egg. And I have read about his son. He went to Argentina to talk with
Yeah.
him and ask him if it was true what. And he made all kinds of excuses. Oh no, he hadn't done anything. I had
His
one.
own son confronted him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I've seen the video. I've actually
Oh,
they
really?
put it down. Yeah.
And he was very disappointed that his son didn't understood. He had only done what he should do, which was his duty and so on. And you know very well that he drowned himself at the end.
Is that how he died?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Everyone knows that.
No, I
Yeah,
didn't know
yeah.
that. Anyway, just to change the subject. So
just-
Annika comes here and she's trying to get us a citizenship, and it took her 7 years.
7 years to become. But when you proved that you were Jewish when you went to Prague.
Yeah, but they didn't believe that either. And I have the papers, of course. Very proud. Will you see the papers of my parents? Look in one of the two drawers there, or on the top of a drawer. Can you?
What?
No,
is-
no, under.
Yeah, I know. But is it
No,
in a file?
first on the shelf.
Oh, this. These photos and stuff.
Yeah.
And Annika, can I ask who is.
You know who it is. It's the father of the Hebrew.
Okay.
You know. Don't you know?
The Ivrit?
Yeah.
Eliezer, Ben
Yeah.
Yehuda.
Is this Ben Yehuda?
Yeah.
I know pictures when he was younger.
What?
No, I didn't know that was him. It looks different there.
And I recognize the pictures when he was much younger.
So this is the family in 38, I think. They have
The mother, the daughter.
no, it's my family.
Your family.
Your children. No, wait a minute.
No, 1938. This
38.
This
So
is
it's
before the
your
war.
granny and your mother.
and aunts and uncles.
Uncle.
Oh,
The whole
okay,
family.
Okay. Okay. No, I think it was a big family.
Yeah.
You were a big family, right?
Yeah,
And
and
it's,
this is my parents.
it's a
again.
beautiful
It's
picture.
a beautiful picture, really. It really is. There's such a magic to it. He looks so proud. He's so proud of his wife. And the black and the white, the clothing, it's just.
And this is the sister of my grandparents in Prague.
Wow, you can see very,
Sophisticated.
very
Yeah, no,
sophisticated,
really, they're classy people.
very well dressed, very.
Not just that, it's, look at the faces.
I know, you can see.
You can see this is important people. Good lineage, good roots.
Here is. This is one of my Elsa Eisenman, born good friend. And this is. And
This is an aunt.
yeah, it's an aunt. And good friend was they were from Austria, and the good friend, I'm sure you recognize the name because they were great artists.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow, these are valuable documents.
And this is my grandfather, and he, can you sit?
Okay, sure, sorry.
He is
Yeah.
in Chade Kralove, that was the address in Czechia. And he wanted to go to America.
Ah, he was applying.
So this is.
And this is written, 9 will be September, the 9th of the month.
9th month, August, September. October is 10. Yes, 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is my uncle and aunt. They wanted to go to America.
Oh, applying for a visa.
It was 1941. Sure.
Did they manage to get to America?
No.
They were murdered.
And
They were murdered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
this is aunt and also my cousin.
This transport.
I became Israeli, hallelujah.
You must hold this like this so you can take a picture with you.
No.
No, you won't see the details from far. Just that you're holding the. Okay, fine.
See, this is very interesting. It's from Terezin and Lodge. Yeah, this is.
And here is
Okay.
the Norwegian embassy admit who I am, but it wasn't good enough.
Here we are, it's in English. It wasn't good enough for Israel.
7 years it took, but
Oh, God.
that was okay because
Well,
I am not the only one. I know many people who one waited 10 years.
wait, listen, Rachel and Leah, their husband had to wait 7 years for his wife.
Yeah.
And I with Shmulik 7 years. He was walking, and 7 years he's crippled. So 7 is
this is
okay.
only when
Okay, fine.
they accepted. And this is a passport, which is not so very interesting.
Okay.
It was when I took the name Eisenman.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is your brother, big
Yeah.
brother. He was in the medical corps in Israel.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a good-looking
And
boy.
they murdered him.
Yeah.
I call it murder, the Arabs.
So he survived the Shoah, your brother?
Yeah.
Yeah. And she didn't know. She had no idea.
No.
And he had no idea that she was alive.
Wow.
And then she comes to Israel, and then she
And
finds out
he's buried in Tel Aviv.
in Tel Aviv in an old cemetery.
And when was he killed?
What do you mean?
When he came
You mean what?
to Israel in
He was, you see, he's in the army.
Yeah.
And sit down.
Okay.
It looks
Yeah.
so awful.
Yeah.
They were very quick to get the youngster coming here to the army because they needed.
This was in the War of Independence.
Yes. And he died in 1950 in June. And it was a marvelous experience for me to find his grave. And I was in Tel Aviv accidentally, and there was a dog.
Yeah.
Was bound up to a table they have for the park and so on.
Yeah.
And there was the wall to the cemetery.
Yeah.
And I ended going in,
Yeah.
and where he was sleeping his last sleep. It was absolutely marvelous
Yeah.
to find out.
And Annika, you
And
never
so
knew
it-
that he had survived.
I am to show you.
And the army is like
So Annika, may
remembering him.
May his memory be for eternal blessing. It's,
Amen.
may his memory be always for eternal blessing.
And here is the Norwegian papers about 10th of August in 42, and my really name, and you see the stamps are here.
Was it hard to get these papers?
Yeah, very.
Yeah.
They don't want it to.
They don't want to. Yeah.
The Norwegians don't want it.
To help. Yeah. They don't like Jews. To put it mildly.
See if there are other papers.
Under the table, there's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or in the drawer.
Okay.
Or
Well,
you-
this is an Israeli paper.
Yeah.
You probably want that. I is this anything of any?
No. No, because I have the papers of when my parents were deported to.
Okay.
Have a look in the two other drawers.
Okay.
No,
No.
look at the other.
No. This is
Okay, I don't have them at hand. But
And
So then Annika got this bright idea, and she wrote a letter to Olmert, who was then the prime minister.
the mayor, that's probably the mayor.
No, he was the
No.
prime minister.
it was the end of his service because, he was kicked out, you remember?
Oh, that's the news, yeah.
But I wrote to him in October and asked him if he could give me a letter or recommend me well.
Yeah.
And when I went to America to visit some family, and when I came back in December, I had found a huge envelope in my mailbox, huge. And it was Olmert who told, of course you shall be an Israeli.
Wow.
Shame on them and all that, he said. And he told me who I should talk to because he had already talked to the head of where you get your papers and so
Yeah.
on.
That's the Ministry, I don't mean, the Ministry of the Interior.
Yeah.
So he organized everything.
And it was ready. I only have to go and ask.
He like jumped. He got the letter from Annika.
Well, thank God, Mara, thank God.
And he jumped, and it was like the last good deed he did before he was kicked out.
Yeah. But I have to say, he even sent me a very nice photo of himself with his signature. I have long planned to put him on my wall.
That's wonderful.
Well, if he's the person that opened the door for you.
Annika, can I ask, you have a passion for painting.
Yeah.
And you've had many exhibits in Prague. They'll just and you've had in the Matafa Shoah, in the Chamber of the Holocaust.
Should I bring that to you?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
What instilled your love for painting?
I'm born like that.
Yeah. It's a type of healing. It's a healing.
No.
Were your parents artists?
No.
So this is the exhibition that you had in
Terezin.
and this is one of your paintings with the it's magnificent. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
I just love the colors. Every picture of Annika's got red, orange,
Annika, I can show some of the pictures.
Yeah. I was thinking to find the papers.
You know, Annika, your pictures, when they say a picture tells 1,000 words, it tells the whole of Jewish history here.
Yeah.
It is something
Absolutely.
Unbelievable. You are so gifted, Annika.
I mean, look at those two little boys there. That's like... That's Annika with Jan, her brother. They're holding a little bird. And this is also a magic picture.
It's just incredible.
Oh, they all are. It's hard to... And that one over there. You see that one over there?
I know, it's just
The
unbelievable.
children.
It's something very, very special.
This is the grandchildren. I don't know if Annika wants them filmed or not.
No.
No.
Okay.
I think this is your picture as well. I remember this picture. Annika, is this your picture?
No.
Oh, because I colored it in.
I stole it.
Oh, it was in the garden.
It's very beautiful, Annika.
I colored it in.
But your pictures are unique.
Yes.
They are. And some of your artwork resides in private collections in the States, the Netherlands, Norway, Israel.
Not Norway.
Not Norway.
No.
And in governmental offices, a number of museums and galleries in Europe, the USA. And Ruth, can we show Annika's books, if possible?
Annika just wants to find some. Sorry.
Are you done?
Annika, 1 minute. This is. Annika, can you say one or two words about this?
No.
Okay, all right. You know, can I be honest? The painting speaks for itself. The painting actually speaks for itself. It's just unbelievable. Okay, this is just incredible.
Are you finished?
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay. Okay, that's rubber.
The colors, Annika, the expressions on the faces, it's...
And the use of...
There are no words, really. And the expressions, it's so alive, it's so real.
Let me take this so you can see the child. Can you just straighten up the child?
It's very good. And here is a selection of some of the incredible books that Annika has authored.
I'm writing books for young generations because I have experienced that adults, even grandparents of that generation, they refuse to talk about it because they have things to hide. They are not such big heroes as they often say they are. So, and you realize how much I actually remember. And it's in many ways a nightmare. Yeah.
So Annika, just for 1 minute, wow.
Not me.
Okay, Annika, 1 second. Annika, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I am so grateful to you. And this we will treasure. This is something, I'm just so grateful. You telling your story and it's been very hard, but your story is so, there are no words. There really are no words, Annika.
But you do understand there is something I can add and make you feel bad. No, honestly. I know after this, I might not sleep for a week.
I know, I know, because you have to relive. You're going to relive.
What you are doing
I know.
is to dig and dig and dig.
Yeah.
You are not even aware of what you are doing.
Annika, can I tell you, I interviewed he was in his 90s from France, and I phoned him the next day to thank him, and he said to me, I couldn't sleep that night.
No.
Because he had to, you relive.
Yeah.
But Annika, I'm so grateful to you, and Ruth, we are so grateful. And Annika, I just want to wish you only Mazel Bracha. You should have all of Hashem's blessings. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
And
I'm 80 years old today.
80 years young. And Annika, can I just ask the last thing? Do you have a message that you can give? Any message to the young generation, to anybody? Because what you've gone through and what you've lived through.
Yeah, but before I want to show you the letter my brother wrote to me. It's Radek Kralova, the 18th of August 1945. Dear Uncle Bruno, I hope that you and your family are healthy and you have overlived this unlucky war with your troubles. He is an idiot. All the time I wait for a letter of you, but I got nothing. 2 months ago, I have sent you a letter with a Frenchman which returned home, but I am sure he has forgotten to post it. I am still alone of all the family. Nobody returns. My grandmother Camilla and her sister, I actually have photos of them. And her sister Leni and Anna are dead, deaf we say. Leni, which lived in a village without a Dewstar, you know, were caught, arrested and died 14 days later in a concentration lager Auschwitz. For Leni it was all the same, because we all were arrested 1 year later. Where but her son Ossi, which was the same case and which has married a Christian girl and could stay at home since she say a Christian girl and could stay at home. It's something I really. He is trying to say that someone died in Mauthausen and lost here his wife and the 2 little children. They are well off. Aunt Anna died in ghetto Terezinstadt in the January of 43. It was her who gave me her soup.
The soup, yeah.
Yeah.
Your great aunt.
Yeah.
She said, her great aunt said, if anyone's going to survive, it's going to be her, and she gave her the soup.
And the others were very angry.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says she died in January of 43. It's not really true. She died for Christmas. Grandfather died together with my father Carl, the 11th of June 44 in Auschwitz. They were vergassed. Uncle Max finished his life also there the 7th of March 44. About all the others, Fanchi, Martel, Elsa and so on, I can only tell you that they have not returned. That is the people I remember.
Yeah.
I have also nice thing behind now. I were also in the ghetto and Auschwitz and ran away in January of 45. All the 5 months in which the rest of the Jews were killed, I hid me in Germany as a civil labor. 2 months I was French. You know, he went to school before the war and
he could speak French.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sometimes a German or a Polak or a Czech, and has the luck that nobody asked for papers. So I returned home in May. My apartment I got returned and the factory also. But because we have no labors, we shall not produce in the future. Please, Uncle, what is with our things in America? Because they send things belonging to us.
to America.
Yeah, and they refused to give, a family refused to give it
To give it to
to
you.
me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope that it's all right because I wish to have some value there. Excuse my bad English, for 4 years I have seen no textbook. Please answer me early. I'm now 17 years old and you are the only relation which I have in all the world. Many greetings for all. He calls himself Jan. P.S. My address is the old. Jan Eisenman, Gade Kralove, Husova 477.
And this is the picture
From the army.
from the army.
Here. And you know he died while in the army here.
Yeah. He was buried by the army. If you give me the plastic, I'll just put it in there.
May his memory really be for eternal blessing. May his memory be for an eternal blessing.
I don't understand what you are saying.
It's a
It's a prayer that his memory will be for
the
eternal.
memory of
Yeah.
someone who's passed, so it will always be a blessing.
It will always be a blessing. It's so sad that he was killed. It's so sad.
And the army honors him, and they fetch her to come
Well,
to.
I know how they died, but the army don't want to admit. They sent these young people up to
the dangerous.
to the border in the north.
Yeah, they gave them the most dangerous jobs. They gave to these young guys.
Arabs attacked them.
Yeah.
Annika, thank you so much.
Okay. Annika, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy 80th birthday.
Yeah.
And you made it. You got to Jerusalem.
Yeah.
And you came to be my neighbor.
Yeah.
And I'm just like blown away by Annika's story and by Annika. And she's just been telling you things about the Holocaust, but you can have conversations with Annika about everything. She knows everything. I mean, she's a genius.
A
Seriously.
very special person.
Yes.
Annika,
Seriously.
thank you so much.